You mean wish to surrender to me? Very well, accept.
Will you promise not to hurt this man?
May I live 1,000 years and never hunt again.
Fencing, fighting, torture.
Is this a kissing book?
In 1987, while theaters were dominated by action heroes with machine guns and dark, brooding fantasies, Rob Reiner dared to adapt what many considered unadaptable. William Goldman's The Princess Bride.
Why loose your venom on me?
You killed my love.
Picture this: a young Fred Savage, sick in bed, rolling his eyes at his grandfather bringing him a book. "Is this a kissing book?" he asks with all the disdain a young boy can muster. It's a moment that perfectly captures what The Princess Bride was up against. Released in a year that gave us Predator, Lethal Weapon, and RoboCop, here was a film that began with a grandfather reading a story to his grandson. With a modest budget of $16 million, The Princess Bride didn't set the box office ablaze, earning just $30.8 million in its theatrical run. But like the man in black scaling the cliffs of insanity, this film refused to give up. What started as a theatrical underperformer would slowly, through the magic of VHS and cable television, become one of the most beloved films of all time. But why? What makes this kissing book resonate so deeply across generations? The answer lies in how The Princess Bride accomplished something remarkably rare. It created a perfect balance between sincere fairy tale and satirical comedy, crafting a template for modern self-aware storytelling that countless films would try, and often fail, to replicate. This isn't just a story about true love conquering all. It's a story about storytelling itself, about how the tales we share bridge generations, and how sometimes the most powerful way to tell an old story is to acknowledge its familiar beats while infusing them with new life. In an era where cynicism was becoming currency, The Princess Bride dared to be both satirical and sincere, both modern and timeless. Join me as we explore how a story about a farm boy, a princess, a giant, and a six-fingered man became not just another movie, but a cultural touchstone that continues to captivate audiences over 35 years later. Because in a world of disposable entertainment, The Princess Bride proves that some stories, like true love, never die. They just get better with each retelling. Behind the film's effortless charm lies a masterwork of technical achievement and creative problem solving. The cliffs of insanity, those imposing walls of rock that Wesley scales in pursuit of his love, weren't created on a soundstage. They were the real cliffs of Moher in Ireland. Cinematographer Adrian Biddle, fresh off James Cameron's Aliens, brought a storybook quality to these natural wonders, capturing them in angles that made them appear both real and mythical. The sword-fighting sequences, particularly the iconic duel between Inigo Montoya and the Man in Black, took months of preparation. Mandy Patinkin and Carrie Elwes trained for weeks under Olympic fencer Bob Anderson, learning both right and left-handed techniques. What we see on screen isn't movie magic, it's real skill, shot in long takes that showcase the actor's dedication. When Inigo switches hands and declares, "I'm not left-handed," it's not just a great character moment, it's a testament to the film's commitment to authenticity. The Fire Swamp presented its own unique challenges. The production team had to create fire spurts that were both visually impressive and safe for the actors. They developed a system of underground gas jets, carefully timed and controlled, to create those sudden bursts of flame. Rodents of unusual size were brought to life through a combination of men in suits and puppet work, a practical effects approach that gives them a tangible presence that CGI often struggles to achieve. But perhaps the most innovative aspect was the film's frame narrative structure. Rob Reiner didn't just adapt Goldman's novel. He embraced its meta-storytelling aspects. The interruptions by Fred Savage's character aren't just comic relief. They're carefully placed to break tension, provide commentary, and even address plot holes. When the grandson questions why Buttercup isn't trying to escape her captors, he's voicing the audience's own thoughts. The film's visual style strikes a delicate balance between realism and fantasy. Notice how scenes in the grandson's bedroom have a modern, naturalistic look, while the story sequences are bathed in golden light and soft focus, creating a distinct storybook aesthetic. This visual separation helps sell the idea that we're moving between two worlds, the real world and the world of the story. Even the sound design contributes to this dual nature. The story sequences feature a sweeping orchestral score by Mark Knopfler, while the bedroom scenes are notably quiet, grounding us back in reality. It's these technical details, working in harmony, that create the film's seamless blend of fantasy and reality, humor and heart. Perhaps most impressively, all of this was achieved without the benefit of modern digital effects. Every sword clash, every giant's footstep, every miracle pill was created through practical means, giving the film a tangible quality that helps it feel timeless rather than dated. In an age where CGI often overwhelms storytelling, The Princess Bride stands as a testament to the power of practical filmmaking and creative problem solving. At the heart of The Princess Bride's enduring appeal lies its perfectly assembled cast, each bringing something uniquely magical to their roles. Let's start with Mandy Patinkin as Inigo Montoya. What many don't know is that Patinkin approached the role with deeply personal motivation. He had lost his own father to cancer and channeled that loss into Inigo's quest for revenge. When he delivers the famous "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya" speech, it's not just acting, it's catharsis. That's why after 30 years, it remains one of cinema's most quoted moments. Then there's Andre the Giant as Fezzik. Despite battling severe back pain throughout filming, so severe that he couldn't actually catch Robin Wright in the climbing scenes, Andre brought a gentle vulnerability to the rhyming giant. His scenes with Wallace Shawn's Vizzini showcase perfect comedic timing, particularly during the "Anybody want a peanut?" exchange. What's remarkable is that Andre was reading his lines off cue cards due to vision issues, yet managed to make every moment feel natural and heartfelt. Robin Wright, in her film debut as Buttercup, faced the challenging task of making a fairy tale princess feel real. She avoided the typical damsel in distress tropes, instead creating a character with genuine agency and emotion. Her chemistry with Cary Elwes as Wesley is legendary, though interestingly, both were initially nervous about their kissing scenes, leading to multiple takes of their famous reunion kiss. Speaking of Wesley, Cary Elwes embodied both the humble farm boy and the dashing man in black with equal conviction. He performed most of his own stunts, including the majority of the sword fighting sequences. The only time he didn't? When he was actually injured, ironically, not during any of the action scenes, but when Andre the Giant accidentally stepped on his foot during a break in filming. These performances weave together in unforgettable scenes that have become part of our cultural fabric. The sword fight between Inigo and Wesley isn't just technically brilliant, it's a masterclass in character development through action. Every quip, every move reveals something about these characters. The battle of wits between Wesley and Vizzini becomes more than just a clever puzzle. It's a demonstration of how wit can triumph over malice. The Miracle Max scene, featuring Billy Crystal and Carol Kane, almost didn't make it into the film because the crew kept breaking into laughter during filming. Rob Reiner had to leave the set during Crystal's performance because his laughter was ruining takes. Yet this scene, with its perfect blend of comedy and stakes, became one of the film's most beloved sequences. What makes these performances truly special is how they serve the film's larger themes. Every character from Wesley to Vizzini, from Buttercup to Prince Humperdinck, feels both archetypal and deeply human. They honor the fairy tale tradition while gently poking fun at it, creating something that works both as homage and innovation. In doing so, they created characters that don't just entertain us. They remind us why we fell in love with storytelling in the first place. When The Princess Bride first hit theaters in 1987, critics and audiences weren't quite sure what to make of it. The marketing department struggled to position the film. Was it a romance? A comedy? A swashbuckling adventure? This confusion led to mixed reviews and modest box office returns. Variety called it a genial fairy tale, while others dismissed it as too quirky for mainstream success. But something remarkable happened as the film found its way into homes through VHS and cable TV. Like a well-told bedtime story, The Princess Bride grew stronger with each retelling. Parents who discovered it began sharing it with their children. Teenagers quoted it endlessly in high school hallways. College students organized viewing parties. The film that critics couldn't quite categorize became beloved, precisely because it defied categorization. This evolution from theatrical underperformer to cultural phenomenon reveals some fascinating hidden details. For instance, William Goldman, who adapted his own novel, was so nervous about the film's reception that he couldn't watch the filming of the sword fight scene, which would later be hailed as one of cinema's greatest duels. The studio's uncertainty about the film's tone led to multiple marketing campaigns, each targeting different audiences. Some posters emphasized the romance, others the adventure, and still others the comedy. The film's journey also includes some remarkable behind-the-scenes stories that have only enhanced its legacy. Andre the Giant, despite his physical pain, would keep the cast entertained between takes with stories from his wrestling career. During the filming of the fire swamp scene, Robin Wright's dress caught fire, but she remained so professional that she finished the take before letting anyone know. The recovery scene with Billy Crystal as Miracle Max required so many takes because the other actors couldn't stop laughing at his improvised lines. As video stores gave way to DVD and then streaming, The Princess Bride continued to find new audiences. Each generation seems to discover it anew, adding their own layer of appreciation. What started as just another fairy tale movie became a touchstone for discussing everything from true love to revenge, from friendship to political satire. The film that critics couldn't quite figure out in 1987 is now regularly featured in lists of the greatest comedies and romance films ever made. Perhaps most remarkably, the film has achieved something rare in modern cinema. It's become criticism-proof. While viewers might argue about other classic films' merits, The Princess Bride has reached a level of beloved status that transcends traditional critical analysis. It's no longer just a movie. It's a shared cultural experience, a collection of perfectly quotable moments, and a reminder that sometimes the best stories are the ones that don't take themselves too seriously while treating their core themes with absolute sincerity. As far as I'm concerned, that's true love. Today, those words from Peter Falk's grandfather character echo beyond the film itself, representing how The Princess Bride has shaped modern storytelling. Look at films like Shrek, Enchanted, or The Princess Diaries. All owe a debt to how The Princess Bride cracked the code of self-aware fairy tales without sacrificing genuine emotion. The film's influence extends far beyond cinema. Its quotes have become part of our everyday language. Inconceivable! You keep using that word. Political speeches reference the Battle of Wits. Medical students use "mostly dead" as shorthand. Tech companies name their servers after characters. The film has transcended its medium to become a cultural framework, a shared vocabulary that bridges generations and social groups. What makes The Princess Bride particularly relevant today is how it handles cynicism. In an era where ironic detachment often rules, this film demonstrates how to acknowledge genre conventions while still believing in them. When Fred Savage's character gradually stops interrupting the story to complain about the kissing parts, it mirrors our own journey from skepticism to sincere engagement. This balance feels more vital than ever in our current media landscape, where genuine emotion often struggles to break through layers of irony. The film's approach to gender roles, while subtle, was ahead of its time. Buttercup isn't just a damsel in distress. She has agency, personality, and her own journey. Wesley's devotion isn't portrayed as weakness, but as strength. These nuanced character dynamics offer a template for modern storytellers grappling with how to update traditional fairy tale roles while maintaining their mythic power. perhaps most significantly, The Princess Bride reminds us of the enduring power of storytelling itself. In an age of endless content and fractured attention spans, here's a film that celebrates the simple act of sharing a story across generations. It suggests that sometimes the most sophisticated way to tell a story is to embrace its simplicity while acknowledging its artifice. As we look at today's entertainment landscape, filled with reboots, remakes, and meta-commentary, The Princess Bride stands as both pioneer and pinnacle. A film that showed how to reinvent classic storytelling for a modern audience without losing its soul. It proves that true love, whether between characters, between generations, or between audience and story, never goes out of style. And that's the real miracle that Max might have missed. In a world of disposable entertainment, The Princess Bride has achieved the seemingly impossible. It has become not just a classic, but a living classic, one that continues to win new hearts while keeping its old ones. As you watch today's film struggle to achieve the same balance of wit and warmth, you might find yourself wondering, is there a modern film that captures this same magic? That perfect blend of self-awareness and sincerity? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into films that shaped our culture. After all, as Wesley would say, it would be inconceivable not to.